Hi, morning everyone. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for dropping by. My name is Eileen and it's a great pleasure having you back in my channel again. Today I want to touch on the subject of two of the most important rules that I have seen very successful men such as my dad and the business tycoons that I work for always stick to. And I think I would like to share with you things such as this apart from talking about fashion only, because I think it would help a lot of people when I can share with you how they think, how successful men think, so that you can apply it in your life as well. So let's get on with it. These two rules are actually in the Bible. So irregardless of whether you are a Catholic or Buddhist or Muslim, it doesn't matter to me. As long as there is a God in your life, I think every religion teaches something good. So the first rule of success is to love your God with all your heart and with all your might and with all your soul, because that is really important. I think a lot of times, especially during the MCO, if had it not been for my faith in God, I think I would have not been mentally strong enough to overcome everything that my life has thrown at me. So that is very important, and I'm so grateful to my parents that they drilled into me that having a faith in God is the most fundamental formula for living in this life and for success. Because my parents, especially my dad, even when we go overseas for a holiday, he would search out where is the nearest Catholic church. He's always placed God importantly in his life. And I think whenever I think about my dad, I always think about Proverbs 3:10, that if you give God the respect that he deserves, he will fill your barns to bursting point. I just wanted to touch on the fact that a lot of my tycoon bosses, they are not even Catholic, they are actually Buddhist. And yet I truly admire how the Buddhists, when they go to work, especially me, I would pray at home in the morning before I go to work. But for them, when they go to work, they've got a special altar in their office, and they would actually pray to their ancestors and to their deities before the start of each day, and especially for a large event. And they would pray for their guidance and for their protection and for their blessings. And that, I think, is really very touching to see that these tycoons who are running a billion-dollar empire would actually, before the start of the day, bow down their head and acknowledge that there is a greater power than them to guide them, to protect them, to give them their blessing for their business ventures. It brings back home to me the fact that my dad as well, we would always dress up for church. I saw a documentary, they followed this lady, and she was going to go to a garden party with Queen Elizabeth. She took the time, to find out, what dress do you think would be suitable for the occasion. She was so excited and pick out what hat would suit with the outfit that she was going to wear. And I was thinking, you'd go through all this trouble to meet up with a queen. And yet, when we are going to church, standard of dressing up for church has deteriorated. People would come in a crumpled shirt, and you can see that they've been sweating the whole day. They don't even bother to take a shower, and they just appear in church. And I know a lot of you are going to say, but God looks at the heart, he doesn't look at the exterior. But the main point and the gist of what I'm saying is that give God the respect that he deserves, because at the end of the day, he is the King of Kings. Would you even think of going to the palace to meet your sovereign in a crumpled shirt and without having to comb your hair? You would never do that. So if you want God to give you the blessing and the attention and the time that you want him to give you, then you better make sure that you give him the respect that he deserves. Because even all these tycoons, no matter how powerful, how big their conglomerates and their company is, they still take the time to acknowledge there is a higher and greater power above them, to ask for that blessing, to ask for that guidance, I think this is really something that people should know about and people should follow by example. That is the power of a really great leader and a really great boss. He inspires people and he brings out the best in people. That is what a boss is supposed to be. Those small-time bosses, they will always think the opposite way. They will think, I'm paying you this much, then I need to get this much of work out of you. But those big bosses, their thinking is different. They will tell you, I know you can do this and I know this is what you're cut out for, and I'm going to pay you the best that you can actually expect because I know you are the best in the field. They give you that mental strength and the confidence to perform in your duties, and they pay you very well in the industry, and that gives you so much more passion to do the best in what you do. And you want to show them that because you give that confidence in me, I'm going to show you that I'm going to outperform even myself because I want the company to do well, because that is the least that I can do. So that is the first rule of success. Second rule of success, and I'll try to keep this short, is honor your father and your mother. This is very important because when you see those mafia movies, I don't really like the violence, but when you think about it, how they run their organization is all about family honor, and they want to hold on to their power. The rule of success for most of my bosses is that they place a great importance on family honor because most of them come from humble beginnings and they want to build themselves up so that they can bring honor to the family name and they can hold their head up high, and they start to have children. They want to build a better life for themselves. That is why they build up these businesses. I think a lot of very successful tycoons, they build up their empire not even knowing that they'll be that big, because even some of them, they will tell me that, Eileen, you know, if you told me that when I was young I would have my first $1 million, I wouldn't have believed you. And yet look at their empires now. It's worth billions of dollars and it's public listed. That is how they build themselves up. They never went into business thinking that I want to be rich and then I want to show off to people that I've arrived. That is a very narrow-minded way of thinking. So a lot of people get it wrong. So these people are always evolving, and these people, they never stop still. They never stop learning. That is why I'm doing this, whatever that I'm doing my YouTube, because I've seen the example given to me by them. They always know how to evolve. They don't care if people laugh at them, because even if they start out and people laugh at them, over time as they reach their milestone, people will stop laughing at you. You know, they always told me this, Eileen, if people are laughing at you, meaning to say that they are threatened at you and they really admire you, but they don't want to say so because you dare to do something that nobody else dares. And we know that you're very good at your job. That is why we always hire you. And they always say the same thing. But what they always say to me is that, don't forget, no matter who has put you down before, I always pick the best to work with me. Remember that. Bosses that empower you and put you on a platform. So that is why I want to share with you how you can shape your career no matter how small you may think your role is. Always be humble as well. Always be able to connect with all sorts of people from the bottom up. Never think that you're above people. My parents, I've always been so proud of them, and that will carry you through, because family honor and bowing your head down to God, these two first rules of success will carry you through life, because having that confidence in you comes from God. Having that pride in you, a sense of self-worth, comes from your family background. As my mom said, don't forget, no matter how much the world tries to tear us down, nobody can steal your identity away from you. I thank you so much for your support. Have a great day and see you again. Bye.